Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. How you all doing today? This is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer, creator of BYOB Cash Out Strategy. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, guys, as you log in this morning, let me welcome you to this Wednesday call. And just want to welcome you to our profit call, our live market analysis. And I definitely want you all to drop it in the chat, Let me know where you're calling in from. Drop it in the chat where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations as we prepare to get started here this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, guys, good morning. So it's trying to get set up here with everything. All right, so let's see here. Who do I have on the line? Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning, Miramar, Florida. Good morning. Toledo. Good morning. Good morning, Minnesota. Good morning, Columbus. Good morning, Stone Mountain. Good morning, Milwaukee. Manchester. Good morning. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Cleveland. Good morning, Essex, UK. Good morning, Memphis. Guys, it's more you all on the line. Good morning, Chattanooga. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. And you definitely want to make sure, good morning, Kenya. Good morning from Kenya. So you want to make sure that you are dropping it in the chat where you're calling in from. And those affirmations, and what are they? I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in and profit. I am 777, right? We want to make sure we are walking in that. Let me get this screen share together real quick. Now, for those of you all, hey, I have this pulled up. We're going to talk about it, but I want you all to watch this, okay? We'll get diving. We're going to dive in here. We're going to do this the right way. But for those of you all who trade indices, you see how it's moving already this morning, right? You guys see that? So it just broke the line. It was one of my topics of conversation. Good morning, Covington, this morning. So I'm going to back up and I'm going to start from scratch. But I want to make sure that you all, right, we got different levels of traders on this call. So I'm going to walk you guys through it, but I want to make sure that you guys don't miss any trades that we have the ability to take this morning. All right, our indices are moving a little bit. SPX just kind of broke through there, right? S&P, I said SPX because that's what the thing is. But you can see we got some movement moving on, all right? So let me back up. Let's go back. I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in and profit. I am 777. All right. So good morning, Louisiana, Fort Polk. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Virginia. I see you guys. Good morning, Virginia. So yeah, good morning. I got you too. I think I said Covington already. All right. So let's go ahead and let's talk. So guys, if this is your first time here with us this morning, let me get a 111 in the chat. If you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222. Okay, if you're still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222. Good morning, Fort Mill, South Carolina. If you cashed out, let me get a 777. If you're cashed out, let me get a 777. All right, there we go. Look at all that money, right? So let's go ahead and get started, right? So pay attention. I just want you guys to kind of pay attention, see what's going on. Now, let's go ahead and get started. GU. So, and you see that's moving too. So if the market has a little movement, so you guys been up. Look, no, I'm proud of you. No, let me pause for the cause, right? Let me pause for the cause because I say you have to push that button. So let me, right? So let me, yeah, it is. It's moving too. That's what I'm like. The market does not want to let me go through this the way I'm supposed to, right? Not this morning. It does not want to. It wants to be trading as soon as we get on here. So we got a new hour candle, a new 4-hour candle. Look at that. Look at that 4-hour candle. So guys, right here is that support line. If it breaks through there, then GU. So you see how it looks when we drop down. When it comes out of there, when it breaks through there, then absolutely, we just keep it moving. So that's what you're looking for, that break. I'm gonna walk you through it, I promise. So, because I know we have some people like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? What do you mean? Who's making money? Right? We're gonna walk you through, how this works and how we do it on this call. All right. But for the ones that get up and get on here every day, I had to show them what we already see. So I didn't cash out, but you pushed a button. But remember, I told you, like, you are going to go through that when you get started. That's why I celebrated the individual who was able to recoup everything in their demo account. Now we're talking demo account. The individual who was able to recoup everything that they did, because when you start pushing the button, I don't care if you take profit or not, to be honest with you. I want you to not care. I want you to care, but not care, because you have to get comfortable doing it. Why do you think we start learning how to drive in a big old parking lot, right? Why do you think we start learning how to drive like in a big open area? That's because nobody expects you to be able to pull up in parking lots and, being able to parallel park and emerge and shoot, just stay in your lane, right? So it's a reason you have to get comfortable behind the wheel. So I salute you. So like it's not about, it's about chasing the skill set and it's not chasing the money, not chasing the cashing out, it's chasing the skill set. And chasing the skill set, what ultimately happens is when you chase that skill set, that starts with you pushing a button. You have to get comfortable and familiar with the market. And so congratulations, because I remember your story. I remember your testimony. I remember what you said. So congratulations, 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 congratulations. I salute you for that. That's huge. All right. So now let's go ahead and dive in here. Let's start from the beginning where we're supposed to. Keep watching those things. As a matter of fact, let's just keep watching Bitcoin too, because it broke through here as well. It broke through here. So yeah, keep doing it. So keep watching Bitcoin. I'm going to come back. We're going to analyze all of these things, right? Gold did what we said, everything. So let's go ahead. Let's get started. So look, let's get started. Let's back up, rewind to where we're supposed to be. All right. So how these calls work is Monday through Thursday, right? Monday through Thursday, 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're live in the market. This is an analysis. We are here diving in the market, looking through the trades, right? That's what we're doing. Now that's Monday through Thursday at 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. The 5 a.m. call is a slower pace call. This call, we take the time, analyze the charts, help make sure you implement, understand. At 9 a.m., we're dealing with mainly indices. That's when the Wall Street bell rings. So that call is a little bit faster paced. We have a little bit more that we're analyzing. So just really want to help you guys understand, the pace and understand what each call is all about. Now, on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m., we have our BYOB basics. And she lays out the foundation, right? So understand, I'm building on top of that. I am coming in and I'm building on top of that. So you have a very strong foundation. You have a very strong understanding of what's happening in the market. You have a very strong understanding of the BYOB cash out strategy, what you're looking for, but then you don't live there, you don't stay there. But you have to understand, right? Just like I have, we have a house, you lay a foundation and then I build my walls around that. I build my walls. I don't put the walls and then try to lay a foundation. So it's just, you really just want to lay that foundation, understanding it. On Thursday nights, we dig just a little bit deeper where we go into it. We understand the tools, what's happening. And we really dive into that. Okay. That's what we do. So now this is how this call is set up. And so now what I want to do is I want to walk you through the BYOB cash out strategy. Good morning, Jacksonville. I definitely want to walk you through the BYOB cash out strategy. Y'all see that? I'm just saying. So, and walk you through that. And then, of course, as I walk you through the BYOB cash out strategy, trying to see, did we get any triggers on this? We did on GBP USD. So let's look at it. Look like it's already moving. And then, of course, we're going to do our analysis and our setups. And as you can see, we've already done some, right? Well, we have some expectation. So GBP USD triggered about 20 minutes ago. And it's 37311. Let me see. 37311. So I'm gonna walk you through it from a live trading perspective. So, let me give this to you real quick. Now we start on a 15-minute chart. That is the foundation. Now here, my blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum, okay? That's gonna happen around that 80 or around the 20. So if it's around the 80, I know I'm on the 5-minute before somebody drop it in there. I'm just trying to, actually, I'll come up here for. All right, so blue line cross over the red in a downward momentum. You can kind of see where that blue line cross over the red in downward momentum, and that's happening around the 80. Now, after that crossover and cross down, you actually have a red candle. You guys gonna have to ignore the lines. Y'all see the market moving this morning, because I like to start with a clean chart to kind of help you guys see it. So you notice that then we come to a red candle with a flat top, and then that PSR flip. These are trend candles. This is my trailing stop loss. So in a nutshell, it's a dynamic support and resistance line. So it is my trailing stop loss. That's what that is, okay? So knowing that, this is where this happens, okay? So now right here, I want to identify this one as well, because remember, this is 3 phases. And so based on some of the questions that come in, and based on some of the questions, understand time frame confluence is meant for alignment, okay? Time frame confluence is meant for alignment. That means that it needs to be in alignment. It needs to flow together, right? It has to do that. So if it's going in opposite directions, then absolutely not. I don't want to touch it, right? I'm not touching it. That means flow together. So for when you guys, and I'm being very deliberate in, in helping you understand, because you guys will ask the question, well, does it have to go together? Well, does this mean it should be selling too? Well, the answer is absolutely. That's why we check it. If it didn't matter, we wouldn't check it. So just kind of think about it from that perspective, right? If it didn't matter, then why even bother looking at it? So if it has no bearings or, on what we're doing. So now what we're seeing, all right? So we have 3 phases. I have my BYOB cash out strategy, right? BYOB cash out. Then of course I have my time frame confluence. Then I have my top-down analysis approach. And so some of you all have to grow into that top-down. That's looking at market structure. So I come up here to my hour. Let's check my time frame confluence. You can see I had confluence from a candle perspective on these, but look at what my stochastic is doing, okay? We're talking about alignment. I don't care how red these candles are. What is my stochastic doing? What's my stochastic doing? My stochastic in this one is buying. That's why I knew I needed to mark this up, okay? Because I could see the way this pulled back that it was gonna, but you don't have to see that. The time will give you that as you start listening to the market. But when I'm here, right, look at my stochastic. My stochastic's in a buy. I'm not in alignment. It's my leading indicator. Now, when I come over here, the only way that had this started curving some, that's the only way we would have checked. That's the only way we would have done that. And because it's GBP, I could have dropped down, but shoot, if I dropped down, it still wasn't in alignment. So we just weren't taking that trade. It was worse. That's the first time I saw that. That's why we have to check it. Nothing's the same. So normally, right, you'll see that 30-minute and it'll be pulling up. So here, if this one was curving some, you'll drop down to that 30, and then you would see that this would be selling, but we still have a nice pull up on here. So guess what? No, ma'am, no, sir. You're not touching that trade, and you have to be okay with that. So now, right, it makes no sense to even drop down to the 5. It just makes no sense at that point. So now, right, what I'm doing here is here I am with my, we triggered on the 5-minute, okay? This is what we triggered. It's always called in a correction, okay? The trade is always called in a correction. It's always called in a correction. I'm going to say that one more time. It's always called in a correction, okay? I need you to let that get embedded in your mind. All right? So I need it embedded in your mind. I need you to understand that it is always called in a correction, okay? So now, as we're looking here, this is that trigger. So good morning, London, good morning. So you can see here, that's that trigger. You see how it's pulling up now, right? That's that correction we're discussing. So now let's go to my 30. Now you notice I don't need an arrow over here. I don't need an arrow over here because what I'm looking at, right? What I'm seeing and what I'm looking at is my, look, we just triggered again. What I'm looking at and what I'm seeing is the fact that this is what caused the trigger. So here I am. I have a nice solid red candle, okay? I dropped down to my 5. Y'all, you know what? We were so excited about them trades that I checked the news before this call. So if we didn't go over that, make sure you check the news. Let me not leave that out. You got news at 10 o'clock, all right? I don't want to mislead anybody, okay? Before this call, I did check it. I'm gonna stop because we did not check it, okay? We did not check it. You see, we have red photos. This is 8:30, not 7:30. So we have red photos this morning. That's coming up at 8:30 in between the calls. I'm pausing because I knew that. And I'm like, sitting here, did I tell you guys that? Because we're looking at those trades. So you guys have to check the news before we start trading. I'm pausing so you know, so you make sure that you are checking the news before you start trading, okay? We're looking for those red photos. Very, very important, okay? So now, like I said, we just triggered again, 3-7, right on the 5-minute, 3-7-2-4-5, okay? Now, here, okay? You see that's a nice solid 30-minute candle. Look at that 30-minute candle. That's beautiful, right? So now my correction is always called. So that just means you have to wait. You have to pause, right? We have to hold off. So now that is where we are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down as well, okay, where all my activity happens. Now, understand, even if I'm here on my 15-minute, right, you can see my 15-minute, which we just got this candle, that's still in a red. If I come up to my hour, that's still in the sale. You see that? That's beautiful. So where we start, even if it's triggered on a 5, you could come here you could come here. All right. So you can pull up to the 15. If it's triggered, because it's the same market, guys. It's the same market. When I look at my 4-hour, this is a brand new 4-hour candle. I mean, look at this candle. You see that? Everything is beautiful for that sale. So basically what you're seeing, right? And if you have any questions, comments, testimonies, as I'm going through this, let me know. Because I know that we get our foundation, 15-minute chart, blue line cross over the red, you know, in an upward or downward momentum, red candle, green candle, flat top, flat bottom, PSAR flip. Stop loss above the PSAR, not on the PSAR, above the PSAR, below the PSAR. So I know we walk through that. I know you get that. I know we understand that. But when we start getting on these charts together and analyzing, we start looking at everything, okay? I'm looking at my top-down analysis approach. I'm looking at my time frame confluence, and I'm looking at my trade. And honestly, it doesn't matter the order that you look at it in, because I know this triggered twice, right? In the last 30 minutes, it's triggered twice. So if I'm looking at this, right, this is what we rejected from yesterday, but now we're over here. So if I want to do my top-down analysis approach, right, there's an expectation, if I look right here, that we had a little congestion over here. So it's an expectation if I clone this, all right, and I bring this over here. So once this is that top-down approach right here, okay, I'm trying to help you see the market, not just see the blue line cross over the red. I'm trying to help you see the market as well as you go through this. Okay. Now, what you're seeing is it's trying to break through here. So if I'm looking at my top-down analysis approach, what you're seeing is it's trying to break. This is what triggered it, okay? So here, my hour and my 4-hour, okay? And yes, I do check my hour and my 4-hour. I know my confluence is on my hour, but for my top-down analysis approach, I check my hour and my 4-hour. I want to know if they're in alignment when I'm looking at market structure, all right? So you can see where this is. Now, when I come down to my 15, right, you can see that this is attempting to break through there. On my 15, we're approaching that overbought. Now, when I come here, you see this was triggered. All of that's in a correction. So for those of you all who had not already taken a trade, right, for those of you all who have not already gotten into the market, then what you're seeing is you need to wait till it breaks through here. All right, when we look to the left. So even if I have a blue line cross over the red, even if, right? And the reason I say, you know, because if it's there, it's going to play out the way it's supposed to play out, okay? But what this helps you do is eliminate the pullback. It helps you eliminate you getting caught up in that. It helps your nerves because you're not spazzing out, right? So it just really helps you see. So I need the market to break through here. Any questions, comments, or testimonies? Questions, comments, testimonies. Any. None. Okay. So let me jump over here. That's that. Look, GBP AUD just triggered for a buy, right? So this trigger for a buy on the 5-minute. So you notice that the market is very predictable. It's very, very predictable. Very, very predictable. So you notice that as we come through here, what you're seeing, right? Now, don't quote unquote predict it, but it's predictable in the sense that if you analyze it and you do those things, then you're going to be able to see it and you'll understand where it's going. That's why I can look at this and tell you, oh, this, I'm not taking that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I just spent some time in here, so I understand what it's doing. And so, you know, the top-down analysis approach much clearer for you. Awesome. So now, GBP, you notice it's the same markups. So for those of you all who are 111, we always start with a clear chart, right? We were always going to start with a clear chart. Like that's just what we're going to do. However, now what we're doing right now. So, you know, this GBP AUD, it started with the, you know, look, it right here, right, 15 minutes. So let me come here on 15 minute, okay? So once again, it's always caught in a correction. Why I was up here trying to show you, so from a top-down analysis approach, right, we know that the market's been selling, all right? We know that the market's been selling. And so if I know that the market's been selling, okay, now when I look here at my hour, I see my blue line cross over the red right here. I look at my 4 hour, the market wants to. Now, this is where I got to help you guys. It triggered for a buy, and we're going to talk about why it triggered for a buy. Now, what type of market are we in right now? What type of market are we in on this currency pair? What type of market are we in? We are in a bearish market, correct? Now, if I'm in a bearish market, which is a seller's market, right? Then what I'm looking for is this is actually, right, is selling. So the same thing that happened over here, the market pulled up, right? That's a correction. Same thing that happened over here, it corrected. This is a smaller correction. So when I'm telling you all that I have absolutely no idea, you have no idea how far the market's going to correct. So this is a correction. This correction went for 100 pips, right? GBP AUD. AUD and NZD have the most amount of liquidity. So I'm with GBP. I mean, GBP, AUD, NZD, they're going to have the most in it. So that's 100 pip correction. All right, this one right here, right? That's 114 pip correction. This one right here, that's only a 50 pip correction. It's really, I don't even know if we would have taken anything, but just kind of looking at where that went. So you see the amount of liquidity in there, all right? This correction, about 50 pips. So when you see that, okay, I don't need you guys getting excited, right? Because it's still the same thing. You're counter trend trading, right? You are counter trend trading. I want to be very clear. So we're in a bearish market. I have to break my last significant level in order for me to be in a bullish market, in order for this market to be buying. So as I'm looking here, all right, and you can see where we are, okay? You can see what it's doing. I do like the hour. I do like the 4 hour. That does not mean that we're just going to break and just bypass. So you can make money on this counter trend trade, but you have to understand that that is what it is. You know, you have to understand that that is what it is. Okay. You have to be I want to be very clear with that. So as I'm looking here, okay, where my 15 minutes triggered, it's always triggered in a correction. So right here. So you notice that my candle Your psych line, that's this blue line right here. My psych level is right here. The psych level is right here. It did not trigger on the psych level. It triggered above it. So, but this blue line is my psychological level. So it's gonna trigger in a correction, which is why you see it selling right here. And it might pull down to that psychological level. Come up here to my hour. My hour is in a buy. I definitely have confluence. So now, can you take a trade? Right? Looking at this, absolutely you'll be able to take a trade. But this is where you understand when you're not coming in here trying to do more, right, than those 10 pips and cash out, where you're not trying to do a lot more. You're doing your 10 pips and cash out, or you're trading to your first support and resistance line. But you're also understanding that you are counter trend trading. Let's not eliminate that, okay? Let's not overlook that, all right? So that's what that is. So now, as you begin to understand, right, you're waiting on that correction to finish. Come back over here for my 5. Look at what my 5 minute is doing. So you see where, when we say it starts, where my crosshair? When you see where we say where it starts, right? I'm sorry, the thing not on there. But this is where that is. This is where it starts. All right. And so you can see how my 5 minute is starting to pull up, right? You can see how my 5 minute is starting to get it. Now my stochastic hasn't started curving yet, but you can see how the market is starting to get that shift. So that's why so many triggers come on the 5 minute. This is why we need to drop down and make sure we're in alignment as well. So we need to make sure we're in alignment. And so this stochastic has to get some curve to it. And my 5 minute has to, my stochastic has to, is my leading indicator. It's a momentum indicator. And as you can see, if I drop down, look at what the 3 minute is doing. You see that momentum is beginning to shift here first. So you see it there first, then you start seeing it here, and then you start seeing it here. All right. So you have to allow that, because it's been times where we've been here, and if this thing don't curve, this is not going to stay buying. I'm letting you know that now. If this stochastic does not come with me, this is not going to stay buying. So I need that momentum. I need that correction to complete before I can take a trade. Questions, comments, testimonies. Questions, comments, testimonies. Any? So, all right. Okay now. All right. So let's see here. Let me come back over here. So that's that one. You see it slowed down on us just a little bit, and that's okay. That's why I was like, are we going to get excited? Are we going to get excited? Are we going to get excited that this is what it's doing? So now let's jump. I want to, you know what? So I did, of course, is what it does. Of course. Makes me log back in every time. All right. So now I want to talk about this. When the last time you seen something come trigger on a daily? When's the last time you saw that? Now that's crypto. All right. So let's go. You see this? My bounce back. All right. Also, when I come in here, look at all these triggers. Now, don't come in here. Okay. Don't come in here trying to just read these and go for it. Look at how this is bouncing around. So it's going to hit, if I scroll in, it's going to hit each one. So what do we always do? We take it back. We're taking it back to the vibrato, okay? We're going to take it back to the vibrato. That's what we're going to do, okay? We have to take it back to the vibrato. So if we look yesterday, look at our cryptocurrency, right? So you notice Bitcoin did close that out. Look at where Bitcoin is right now. All right, we talked about this. Let's come back over here. All right, Bitcoin just triggered again for a sell. So we're going to look at both of these cryptocurrencies, okay? So if I'm here, top-down analysis, squinch my charts up, what I tell you guys yesterday, that it looked like what? But I don't really care about market patterns, because when you understand the market and you can read the market, then, and you have that relationship, then you don't have to be looking for patterns. You can just let the market talk to you. So here, all right, Bitcoin trigger for a sale. We're going to go look at that other trade too. So knowing that we trigger for a sale, right? So look at what we are, 5.8. This was why I like the fact that we could ride the wave. We can ride the wave. Wherever it goes, we go, right? When you move, I move. That's how you need to think about the market. That needs to be your favorite song, right? Right? 2 million strong, right? That's our rally cry right now. 2 million strong. But your favorite song, if you don't know no other part of the song, the only thing you need to know is when you move, I move. Now, when I move, you move. When you move, I move. I know what I said. So now the 2 million need to move when you move because they don't need to miss out. But when the market moves, so the market is singing to you. When I move, you move, right? Just like that. So that needs to be your favorite song. That need to be every time you touch the chart, that need to be stuck in your head. When I move, you move. The market's telling you, when I move, you move. So you can see that that's what we're doing. So now here, all right, this is where that trigger happened. All right, now let's go down here to my 15-minute chart. All right, so we know we got a trigger, not even much of a correction happening. Okay, now trust me, I understand. Let me answer your question before you ask it. Well, it's not around the 80. You're absolutely correct. It's not. It started back here. Let me see if I can click this thing again and get my crosshair to start working. There we go. Oh, wow, that was weird. All right. But then it takes my stochastic. Okay. So now I know right here, okay, I have that blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum, okay? It triggered on my 15. So, but this is what I want you to see. That is the same. So now this is what we would call a continuation trade, okay? So it started back here. And of course, now the market would be continuing. So when it got up on this support and resistance line, or just you could say it broke that psych level, as we're approaching another psychological level that's right up in here. All right, this 58 is another psychological level. All right. Guys, let me know if you have questions. Let me know. As we go through this, let me know. So here on my 15-minute chart, you can see that we broke through here, okay? You see that, all right? We're trying to break this. You see, we broke to this psych level, it dropped down and pulled up. And so this is what we will call a continuation. When I come up here to my hour, because now I need my time frame confluence, right? This is a nice hour candle. Come up here on my 4 hour, that's beautiful, right? It's a beautiful 4 hour candle. We're approaching it oversold. Let me drop down. As we start dropping down, you start seeing that correction has to complete. You start seeing all the activity the further down that you go. And so what's going to happen is when that correction is done, all right, when this correction is done, then you'll be able to ride that out. And of course, I would go to around that psychological level, right? That's where I would go to. Any questions, comments, or testimonies on that? Because let's go back, right? When I get to my higher time frame, not what I'm trying to do. When I get to my higher time frame, you need to look left to see where we're headed, okay? And obviously, you got another psych level that's right here. You notice how my psych levels really helped me with Bitcoin, right? They really, 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 really helped me with Bitcoin, okay? So any questions, comments, or testimonies? Any? All right, let's get over here. Because like I say, you never seen it. You have never seen it. So I'm showing you to let you know that these things happen. They do trigger. So now this is on my daily where I triggered on my bounce back, right? So look at this. Now, what you're seeing, right? This is Ethereum. So my bounce back triggered this for a sale. Isn't that powerful that it triggered on my daily, right? Have you guys ever seen that? Or is my mic on? Is my mic on? Have you seen that? Have you seen it trigger? Thank you. It's not an unsure. You've never seen. It's like it's not something that happens often. So you gotta not really exactly. So now as I look here, right? I want you to understand where we are. All right. So when I'm looking at where we are, you see the rejection that happened here. Now let's really talk about this. When is the last time it's been this high? Has it ever been this high? This is where we are. You see, this is where we were in May of this year, and they actually got back up to that point. It rejected in September, and now we are right here. So now we triggered on a bounce back, on my daily. So we're gonna put this line on here. Because what does the bounce back identify? Somebody help me out. What's the bounce back identify? Exactly, it identifies trends. And so I know if I have that, right? Now let's zoom in some. Look at what my stochastic is doing up here on the daily. Now, if you think my hour, my 4, where's my confluence on my daily? Like, seriously, guys, where's my confluence on my daily? On my weekly. So now we've never pulled this on this call like this, but hey, it's because of where it triggered. And so what you're seeing, let's create these zones. I'm teaching y'all some market this morning. I was excited when I saw that trigger. I said, wait, the daily, yes, I get to show them. I got excited. How much more impactful that it is up here. So if you're looking, you can see where that rejection, right, is happening. So because this is weekly, look at this is made. So this is kind of strong, okay? So now notice, obviously, right, we won't get another candle for 4 days and 15 hours because that's what time frame we're on. So when you come down here, okay, you can see this has to break this trend line. It might break it, it might retest it, okay? It can break and retest it, and you can watch that. So as we start coming down, right now I'm on my 4 hour. Now you can see where we wicked out. Now you can see that activity on the inside of that wick, all right? So you're starting to see that activity. But look at what my 4 hour is doing. So as I drop down to my hour, look at all of this from the bounce back, and we trigger here on the 15. So let's combine them, right? Let's combine them. So here on my 15, now you see, this was a lot of money. So you notice this is why we hardly ever like, oh, let me go look at the daily for a few pips. Let me go look at the daily to take that trade. You see, that was a lot of money, but isn't it important to understand where we are, right? It's not going to tell me if I take a trade. I cannot, quote unquote, take a trade off the daily. That would be absolutely insane. All right. That would just be crazy for me to do that, because it helps you analyze. Like, it helped us see that the daily, if the daily is in a trend, then that's stronger than the 15. Okay. If the daily's in a trend, then that's way stronger than the 15. And right now it just happens to be on cryptocurrency, but I can promise you it doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. So it's just like when we get them on my higher time frames. Okay. Just to trade this, I just have to understand my support and resistance levels. I'm going to change the color so we know which one is which. All right. So notice that this just triggered on my 15. Okay. Now look at that trend line. That's that trend line. Now, doesn't it look like we broke that trend line? Like it pushed on it, it pulled up, and now you can't see a lot of the retest, but when I drop down, you can see the retest. This should show you why dropping down to the 5 minute is important, right? You see that retest on that trend line. So now you don't see it right here. You can see it look like a little rejection right here, but I don't see it when I drop down. All right. So now we triggered for a sale on my 15 minute. My daily triggered for a sale from a trend. My correction on the vibrato identifies the corrections in the market. And my 15 minute, this is where that happened. So now when I look at my hour, we already know we have beautiful confluence on that. When I drop down, we know that we're in a correction. This needs to finish correcting, because what you're seeing is it broke the line, right? And now it's trying to retest it. And so you have to let that finish, okay? We have to allow that to finish so it can pull back up a little bit harder. It can actually pull back up all the way to that trend line. But I just want you to see where we are. Do I have any questions, comments, testimonies? Did we get any clarity? I'm trying to help you all see it. So anything. I need feedback. Awesome. Okay, because I want to make sure we got it. Okay. And so even still, you got to pay attention, even if it breaks to like what we were dipping, like all these little areas, you have to pay attention to those as well. All right. So after the correction, that's the anticipation. Let me say it that way, because I don't need anybody saying, Well, this is what she said. She said it was gonna sell. That's the anticipation. Now, we got news in between here. To me, and my thoughts is that the way I feel about it is I cannot see it not unless it's something that happens with the US dollar that is paired with, because cryptocurrency is a safe haven. All right. So based on these reports, I will have you cryptocurrency is a safe haven. So we have news that's happening. So, now are we, like I say, you see this is pulling up right now. So obviously we wouldn't do anything now, right? We definitely wouldn't do anything now, but you can see where we are. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully. Now, I want you guys to continue watching GBP NZD. I do. I can't promise you it's going anywhere today. And why is my thing not marked up anymore? Why is it not marked up? So let's mark it up. So we know GBP NZD trigger, all right? Remember we're over AUD CAD. Now, if you guys still watch it, one day it might move, right? But we're gonna put this one back on here. All right. And we'll pull some of these triggers as well. We'll pull some triggers and see where they are. We have about 10 minutes, but I just want you to see. The reason why I want you to watch it is I think when you watch a trade play out, it begins to help you understand the market, okay? It really begins to help you understand the market, all right? It really does. So look at what's happening down here, okay? Look at what's happening down here. So right here is a psychological level, all right? What does that look like right there? Anybody, what does that look like? This right up in here. What does this look like? Consolidation, right? The blue is a psych level. The blue is a psych level, so it's rejecting off of there. But we're looking at it, right? It's not breaking through there. And so remember, this triggered on my 4 hour. So if I come back here and I look at my daily, look at what my daily is doing, okay? So this was a trigger on a 4 hour. Now look at what my daily is doing. Look at every day it's been rejecting, every single day. So now look at this candle. This was real strong. This was a real strong sale and we rejected, right? It was real strong. Now here, look right here. Look how much weaker this candle got, right? So I had a nice seller momentum. My seller started phasing out. Now look at this. So we're rejecting, and this is on my daily. So this triggered on a harmonic scanner for a buy off of the 4 hours. So my confluence is my daily. All right. So when I drop down and I look at my 4 hour, now you can see all that consolidation, but look at all this rejection, and this is my 4 hour. So we're looking at it saying, oh yeah, the market's consolidated. And it is. It's consolidated because remember, that's what happens around, that's actually what happens around what? Around psychological levels. That's what happens. The market consolidates, right? That's what it does. And so you can definitely see what we're doing, all right? So when you look here, you kind of see where now look in here. So this is what I want you guys to begin to understand. I would not have taken this, right? I just wouldn't have, because I like my top-down analysis approach. So when I'm looking here and I have my stochastic, right? Because it's no guarantee it's gonna tap all the way to that level. So when I'm here and I have this, now you could have taken that. Let me put this right here because I want you to understand where your 10 pips and cash out is, okay? Or because some of you guys are just doing the 10 pips and cash out. Some of you guys are waiting on this to set up and you're going to ride this all the way up. But if you are there and you are that person, when I come up here to my hour, all right, did I have some confluence? I had some confluence, or it was starting to get into confluence, But if I know I'm this close to a psych level and I'm where I'm at in the market, I'm not taking a trade right there. You know, that's that next level, okay? That's that next level. You starting to see the market. Then, of course, when I come up here to my 4 hour, okay? Oops. If I know that I'm in consolidation, I do not trade consolidation. I just don't. I do not trade consolidation. This is a lot of, I don't care how many pips are there. I don't care what it is. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. So, but when you come down here and you look at this, right, you guys can see where that momentum is. Now, and the reason, let me tell you this. GBP NZD, yeah, it is very wishy-washy. Now, the probability, let me give you your probability. Your probability of walking away with a trade or something in GBP NZD is high because it is GBP NZD, or even the AUD as we saw, because of the amount of liquidity in it. But is it consistent? Because if I try to take that to EuroCAD, or if I try to take that to CHF, right? The significance is a significant difference, okay? It's a difference in the amount of liquidity. So you might get in here and be like, yep, I got my 10 pips. So for those of you all who want to do that, I'm being very clear with you guys that with GBP NZD, your probability is high, you know, but my question is, are you looking for consistency, right? Are you looking for that consistency? Like, what are you looking for? And so as you can see, but this is where you guys would have taken that trade. So I'm being very clear with you, but I also want you to understand where your 10 pips and cash out. Like, so here we are, right? So, and I'm speaking to the ones who start with the 10 pips and cash out, haven't yet learned market structure. And then sometimes you're like, well, it's been working, but why didn't this work? And you're sitting there looking at the trade and you're like, I don't understand what happened. I don't know why my trade didn't play out. I don't understand. It's because we have to get to where we're going into that top-down analysis. Where am I at in the market? Even if I'm scalping, I still need to know where I'm at. I need to know where I'm at. Okay. So blue line crossover to red and an upward momentum. You see that? Got a green candle with a flat bottom, not till up here. And then, of course, that PSR flip to the bottom. So if I do my time frame confluence, I'm going to just take this one, bring this right here. And the point of this arrow is to make sure we're looking at the same spot when we change time frames. I don't need to be in a different spot when I change time frames. So I definitely had confluence, drop down, definitely have confluence, 10 pips and cash out, right? So you got your money, you got your pips. But what happens is some of you guys try to go for more than that. Some of you guys, see, that was only 21. So with your pip reaction time, what is that even feasible? Well, that actually 36 if I pull it all the way up to where it peaked. So this one, 26. So just kind of keep that in mind. So this one, if you go look at the liquidity and volatility chart, you'll see GBP, NZD, AUD is at the top for liquidity. All right, those currencies. GBP has the most liquidity, period. So when you start trying to trade other currency pairs, right, that's why you guys start saying, wait a minute, what's going on? I don't understand what's happening, you know? So yes, I want to see. And so you can definitely check Bitcoin. It's still sitting there on that line. It's still, we might not get that movement because even the US 30 went to like a little correction trying to break through that line. Might not get it till let's see. So we're triggering. Oh, gold, well, that was 2 hours ago. All these, my indices are triggering for a sale still. So we might get some movement when that comes around. So in the next 10 minutes, it's just still sitting on that line. That's what it does sometimes. All right. Any questions, comments, or testimonies? Right? This thing had me excited like we was going to get some movement on this call this morning. I was like, let's go. But at least you got some information and some setups. So any questions, any comments? I know, yeah, it was like, let's go. Never mind. It was like, let's go. So, all right, let me see here. AUDJPY. See this in the correction too. Beautiful, beautiful hour. Beautiful 4 hour. That's beautiful. Every day it gets clearer. I'm so excited. That's the purpose of logging in. That's the purpose of being plugged in, right? That is definitely the purpose of being plugged in. Getting up, getting on these calls, and I got, and I'm gonna tell you, like those of you all, like I love all of you all, but it just, it's a sense of joy and understanding, like when you on this call in the morning and you got, we logged in from Hawaii, right? We logged in from Hawaii. And so that means that that's a whole different level of commitment, because once again, you're breaking your sleep. And then we're on the evening calls, and then you're logged in from the United Kingdom. That's a whole nother level of commitment because you're breaking your sleep. So, I mean, it's lovely. We just have to fight the alarm clock. I mean, just think about it. I do the same thing. That clock go off, people like snooze, snooze, snooze. I can't tell you how many times I snooze before these calls in the morning. I'm like the snooze queen. I cannot tell you. So that's why I say that, because I am the snooze queen. So let's see here. This has to, do its correction. Are you talking about this one? On what time frame? Once again, if I see it, I'm gonna tell you I see it. But I'm more concerned about the market. Like when I look at this, when I see this, I see that candle right here. You see like this, this red candle or what have you, and you look at how strong it is, and you look at this gap in this stochastic and how strong that is, right? And then I come here to my 4 hour and I see this really pulling down, and look at this 4 hour candle. Okay, look at what transpired. So what you're seeing is it has to break through here, and we don't want to ignore none of these levels, or we don't want to ignore any of these things, right, as it pulls through there. But you want to kind of look. I was trying to see where this triggered from because I have it on my paper. So actually, oh wait, I got it. The harmonic scale. So let me put the triggers on. Let me put it on there. All right, let me mark it up. So we're gonna make this orange and we're gonna mark it up. And oh look, I gotta go. So let's mark it. Let's mark this one up real quick though. 85 point. So it's already, this one's already in motion. Let's put the next one on here. So yeah, this one, look, take profit 1, take profit 2. So this thing already, and I pulled it, let me see. So right around what we were looking at, right? So it's already hit here, okay? We marked this up based on what's happening in the market right now. You can see that hour, all right? So this one actually started, right, that hour prior. So this is the hour so it actually went from here to here since we've been on this call. You look at this, right, that new 4 hour candle. Actually, on the hour before, it actually tapped it and then it pulled up. So it re-engaged it. So now what you're seeing is doing what it's supposed to do. Let me just delete these. Actually, I really don't want to delete them. So if you're looking right here, and you can see, why do my crosshair keep leaving? Okay, y'all would just bear with me. So you can see right here, maybe I'll get the little, yes, it's in a correction. So let me do the little arrow. So you can get right here, right? You can see where it's bouncing off of that line, okay? And so what we have to wait on is for that to finish before you could take a trade, okay? Because that's a beautiful hour candle. And so you have to wait on that correction to finish before you could take a trade and continue to ride that out, all right? You said we are the snooze queens. Ha, ha, ha. Funny. I love it. So, all right, guys. Any questions, comments, or testimonies on any of that? All right. Well, we're gonna leave these on here. You see how we starting to turn red? You should start getting some movement. Insightful. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Well, we're going to leave these on here. This obviously, our US 30 just is kind of sitting. It's still, look, it started trying to pull up. Now look at that pulling down. So it's trying to break through there. Okay. It's sitting on there. This one is starting, like, you see this move a little bit on my NASDAQ. I'm looking for 777 between the call. Look at my S&P trying to break through here. All right, you guys can see how it came back up, retested it, and now it's pulling back down. So I'm expecting movement in between the calls, obviously, because there's some news. Okay, so guys, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I will see you all back here. At 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep plugging in. I promise you. I see the light bulbs coming for those of you all who have begun to be more consistent. So we're getting up and getting on these calls. And watch what I tell you. Your trade account will thank you for it. Love you all, right? And remember your favorite song. If I say, what's your favorite song? What does the market sing to you every day, right? When I move, you move. Y'all need to know. You be able to say, my favorite song. So, but I see you guys back on here at 9 a.m. Time for me to go do my mommy duties. Love you guys. I'll see you back. All right, bye-bye.